Hey, Helen here from Sonda Studio. I want to talk about self-awareness. It's a great way to start making better decisions, is to improve your self-awareness. We really love this one because it's about knowing yourself, and you can do a lot to improve your decision making by knowing yourself. The first thing is explanations, understanding how to integrate intuition analysis, emotions and reason, and revealing knowledge gaps through the power of explanations. I've been astounded at how effective this is. So, turns out that the way that people explain their reasoning is actually as important as the reason itself. The same goes for you. We use the same neuromachinery for the awareness of others' minds as we do of our own. We can hold reality at a distance, recognize that what we believe is deviating from what we see, and we use the same mechanism to gauge someone else's false belief. So let's take a little scenario here. Imagine that you ask someone to marry you, and they say, let me think about it. Here's an example of where context really matters in terms of an explanation. Someone's response time communicates something about their deep, authentic commitments. So we assume that an intuitive rather than a deliberate response is a deeper reflection of who that person is. So if someone answers immediately in a complex situation where the problem is really sufficiently complex, we might doubt the accuracy of their answer. But in the example we just did now, we might doubt their commitment if something is sufficiently emotional or moral. And in complex situations, we have to ask someone, if we ask someone a question and they're slow to respond, we often reason that they're taking time to deliberate. And we need to do that more. We need to recognize that a pause while people think, even if it's uncomfortable in a conversation, it's actually really valuable because we're giving someone time to develop that explanation, and that give them, and we recognize that deeper reflection of who they are. We're not just asking them to come up with a solution. And one of the things about explanations is that explaining is generative. You're not like a computer. You just don't go in, pull out from your memory a fact necessarily. What's happening is you're sampling from a probability distribution in your mind, and you're pulling different threads together. You're actually generating something new. And they're the stories that link cause and effect, and they play a key role and allow us to adapt flexibly in a changing world. And this generation is one of an explanation is when we actually learn about ourselves. We learn about our motivations and our own knowledge. We kind of question why do we really think that? And it's very active, and it helps us really rethink and reevaluate. I think it's a very powerful thing to sort of start embracing. Another concept is metacognition. Now, this is a wonderful word. I didn't know about this word when I first started studying decision making a long time ago. But metacognition is thinking about thinking. And it turns out that it's pretty much a uniquely human trait. It's kind of the ultimate human trait. And it's about having knowledge of oneself. We can explain ourselves. It can come from our communities. It's a coach, good friend, partner who knows you better than you know yourself. Can self-reflect. You can self-educate. And what metacognition allows us to do is actually become better leaders too. And Adam Grant has this wonderful matrix that he uses of confident humility, and where confidence and competence can diverge. And think about the belief in your tools versus the belief in yourself. You want to avoid having that armchair quarterback syndrome, backseat driver, where you sort of you know a lot, you think you know a lot, but you actually don't. Or avoiding that the imposter syndrome, where your competence exceeds confidence. That's not a good thing either. A lot of people suffer from that. You've got to find that sweet spot, that confident humility, separating the belief in yourself from the belief in the tools available to you. Another thing is willpower. We all struggle a bit with willpower. And sometimes we consistently screw up when we know better. Research has shown that the things that we regret a lot are the things that we know we should have changed, the little things that have added up to a lifetime of bad habits. But willpower is hard because we discount the future, fail to consider the small decision as part of a larger whole. It's hard to bring the future forward. And One of the ways we can do it is what poker players call plugging the leaks, where you recognize that no decision is too small, and you're just able to focus on that as part of a long-term aspiration. Something else that we find we've embraced, and so do many of our clients, is something from Clive Thompson, which is just a wonderful metaphor, that we want to have a natural curiosity, not the AI-managed curiosity that comes from following big tech recommendation algorithms as our only source of interest. We want the wild forest of a mind, the raccoon and moss. We don't want just planted rows of corn in our brain. So thinking about how to rewild your attention and curiosity is just one of our favorite things to do to keep us feeling like really learning and really alive and interesting. So the nudges that we use a lot to sort of make yourself a better decision maker by knowing yourself, engaging your metacognition, be really aware of the state of your own knowledge. It's a constant practice. If decisions were boats, good metacognition just lifts the tide of all. Being aware of the state of our knowledge is so critical. So you can calibrate your confidence. That's another nudge we have. Assigning a probability. It's another nudge we have. They're different ways of saying the same thing, but being able to get a sense of whether you really know what you know. Plugging the leaks, the one from poker, is a fun one. Just thinking about how do I improve my willpower by just making this one small decision, recognizing it's part of this longer dimension. And it's very much bringing the poker mindset, right? You can't do this without having a metaphor in your mind. So you kind of have to imagine that you're a poker player. You're going for that. You're laser focused on that long-term value. Confident humility. I just love this one of Adam Grant's. It's just such a beautiful way to think about being a leader. That you're really humble in where your confidence lies and your confidence lies, but you're confident in what you know because you've metacognitively reflected on it, and you're focused on getting better. And you get better by explanations. And then the last one, second to last one, it's really important. Explain, teach, pitch. So explanations are generative. They help you understand yourself and others. Asking for an explanation. Teaching's one step up because you have to meet that person where they are and understand the state of their knowledge. And pitching, it's like another step again because you've got to influence and get people behind you to take action. So explain, teach, pitch. Thinking about that as a tiered structure and organizing for that. Setting up team meetings that explain, teach, pitch team meetings once a week instead of just stand-ups. Get someone to explain, teach, pitch. It's a great nudge. And finally, kind of my all-time favorite, rewilding your attention. It's such a wonderful Clive Thompson inspiration. Don't be run by algorithms. So, hope you like these videos. Get in touch with us. We'd love to help you make better decisions. And check out our book, Make Better Decisions, How to Improve Your Decision Making in the Digital Age, at nbd.zone.